back to Metal Man Productions, and this episode I'm going to go ahead and forge a set of tongs. Actually, I'm going to repair a broken set of tongs, repair / modified. This set of tongs was originally a set of flat jaw tongs, and it was originally just straight. I've already modified the half that didn't break to, I got a curve into it, and it's going to change the angle of the work. And what I'm going to use this for is for my hatchets, axes, tomahawks, and maybe even some small hammers. And the way this will work, it'll get down in the eye. It'll allow me to get it in and out of the forge more efficiently, and it'll also allow me, it'll actually give me the angle I need to shape the blade of tomahawks and hatchets and stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and shut up, get this in the fire, and this will all make sense when you start to see it develop. I know it's in my head right now, and I can sit there and tell you what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it, but it's just going to make more sense when you see it. So I'm going to go ahead and shut up, get the forge hot, and get to work. Alright, get some material for the nibs. I got plenty of material here, so this is going to be a little long. Alright, need a little bit more oomph. Alright, I'll take one more heat getting this to the thickness I want it. Then I'm going to stop filming until I get to the boss. Well, that'll probably be the last heat anyways until I get to side fitting that'll probably be the last heat until I get to fitting the nibs anyways. So next we're going to move over to the boss. So let me get this heated back up. But before I do, I just want to show you this side here. So I didn't forge these, so I'm just trying to make sure I forge it the same way somebody else did. So they came here just like we did. Now I have to forge it the exact same way, which means I have to lay it down this way. Put the shoulder down. So it's going to be identical. And the reason they're identical is because one gets flipped over, which makes it opposite. So that kind of gets you wrapped around the axle a little bit. Try to think about it too much. But all you really have to remember is forge them the same, and it'll work. So we're going to get this hot again. We're going to bring it out. We're going to go to the side. We're going to do this set down right here. Alright, so I'm going to use this 3-pound hammer. and start to set this boss down. I'm using this hammer because it's heavy and it's kind of rounded, so it's going to kind of spread that in all directions. So we'll come in here on about 45. I'm going to hit it right here, right where this upset's at. Half on, half off blows. That's going to flatten that down and bend it. At the same time, it's going to start to spread that boss out. So it'll get rid of that bulge while it starts to set it down. So that's what we're going to do, and now I'm going to get it hot again. Actually, I just changed my mind and just went to my rounder. So. Get a set of tongs on the next heat. Clean up, keep it straight. Alright, so we'll take another heat, and now that I got it set down, I might switch to my heavier hammer. And I got my heavier hammer, so we kind of work with it. Start to come back. I got flat back in here too. Don't really have any heat back there though. So we're gonna get some heat further down the thing, we're gonna get some heat further down the material. I'm gonna get this flattened so I can work it on the anvil better. All right, I went back to the big boy here. Kind of working on the edge. We'll get some twisting. We'll fix that in a minute. But that should get me where I need to be. Well, now let me come back down here a little bit more. Then I'll get that twist out of it. All right, let's get a little flatter back here. So I will take one more heat on that boss for right now. All right, I'll deal with that. That looks better. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do my set down, and then I'll worry about straightening that up in a minute. All right, so let's talk about this for a minute. So what I'm going to do is we're going to mark this out in front of the boss right here. And I'm going to come back about an inch. And that's where we're going to do the set down to the back of the boss. So what you have to remember is on the tongs, this is one side of the jaw, and then on that same tong is the opposite handle. So my set, I'm going to put the jaw face down, or jaw or nib down, and then I'm going to hammer into the other opposite handle. So that's going to create my little boss right here. You'll see. And I'm going to go around an inch. It doesn't have to be an inch, but somewhere like around where it's sitting on the anvil now. And that's about 1.25 inches. So I'm going to hang this boss between the nib and here over the anvil about 1.25 inches. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it'll make sense when you see it. Okay, time for this set down. We go in like right around there. Half on, half off the anvil face. Now that I have that established, I'm pulling the hammer back onto the flat of the anvil. Come back over the anvil again. If your boss looks square, don't worry about it. That'll be corrected soon. So I kind of got it set down. Now I'm going to take another heat and kind of get my reins the thickness I want, and then we'll go from there. All right, let's take another heat on that. Whoop. So right now I'm just kind of working the edge of the anvil. And as you can see, the nib is kind of going every which way but loose. But that's okay. We'll fix that in a minute. So that's kind of the thickness I want. So the taper will start there. Probably be that thickness for quite a while. And we'll go from there. So I basically have everything where I want it. So now it's time to kind of go through every step again. Bringing it in the final dimension. Closer to final dimension. Now you can use your set downs to help you shape your boss a little bit more. Alright, so now come back, we'll do this step again, and then we're going to be well on our way to having one tong done. Alright. And you can see I kind of ditched the big hammer, so I got everything where I want it. Get some heat up in these reins and get all that where I want it. Alright, so let's clean up all this. Backside there. Step right there. These tongs aren't the best for holding this, but there we are, nevertheless. Alright, so there's the tong. Nib, your boss, in the beginning of our reins. Now as far as the reins go, it's just going to be squaring it up, tapering it down, and just getting it to the thickness I want. So we'll walk away from that for a minute, come back up to the boss, and we're going to go ahead and punch a hole in that. Alright, just a tip. When you go to punch your hole, you got this offset right here. Start on the opposite side of the offset. You'll be working near the edge of the anvil. So just kind of try and find center. I just bottomed out. Yep. So now we can flip it, and you got like a little shadow there. I'm just going to put my punch right in the center of that shadow. What you doing over here? Oh, come on. Shear. Felt like a shear. Yep, it's sheared. So there you go. We knocked it right through that pritchett hole. My pritchett hole works pretty good for the size rivets that I use. Yeah. Take another heat. Probably take a couple heats, but I'll get it expanded out to 3/8. Alright, heat number 2. Alright, that is bottomed out the Pritchard hole. Alright, so we're looking to draw these reins out. One way you can do it is on the edge of the anvil. Half face blows, hammers coming half on and half off the anvil. Pretty aggressive way of doing it. Another way is a peen type hammer. This is a straight peen. So you can just work on the flats or the horn and let the peen do the work. Usually I just do a combination of everything. Alright, so I basically just have to, just got to square it up, thin it down, taper it out, and go from there. Kind of straighten it out a little bit. So, can't let it get too wonky on you. So I'm going to go ahead and draw these reins out. I'm not going to put you all through watching that. It's just basically squaring and tapering and using any method you like, whether it's the edge of the anvil, a peen, the horn, but using the flat with a flat hammer, you'll be there for a long time. So I got them drawn out, the reins that is, and sky's the limit as to how perfect you want to make them, how square or round or whatever, it's up to you. Right now I'm just kind of knocking the corners off, just for comfort. At least in the area where I'm going to be holding it. Alright, that's pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and stop there with the reins. Any more cleanup I do is going to be on the belt sander. So next we're going to think about fitting these two together. This is going to be on the bottom, this one's going to be on the top. So what I have to do is figure out, well not figure out, but just lay out how. So that's closed. I gotta bring this down to where those two meet. So that's what we're gonna work on next. So I got it bent, so now I'm going to kind of recurve it. Make more sense when I put it together. Kind of see where we're at with it. All right, so that's kind of where we're at. This step here is simply cosmetic. I mean, I guess it's functional too. What I'm doing is I'm lining the reins up, one over top the other. So the reins are going to be in line. There won't be no offset to have to worry about. I like it. I like doing it. I think I'm good. I'm going to take a couple heats and get everything straightened up. I'm not going to film that. Then we come back, we're going to be putting the rivet in it. So. Alright, so I'm just making some fine-tuning tweaks. I'm actually working on the other tong now, the one I didn't forge, and just kind of tweaking it up a little bit. Trying to get a nice fit here. And I think I just got the last bend I need. I can take some of that radius out of there. And looks like we're ready to set the rivet. So I have my bolt or my pivot right here ready to go. I'll put it on the belt sander and cut those threads down a little bit so they don't cause me any issue. And yeah, I think now I'm going to go ahead and set this rivet and see what we got. All right, see if we can set this rivet. go in. So I forgot to turn the camera on the last heat. I got the rivet straightened out. What had happened was my rivet was too long. My rivet was too long. And when I went to get it in there, it wouldn't go in all the way, which compounded the problem of the rivet being too long. So, make a long story short, I took it over to the belt sander, which is pretty much it's my lifesaver in most things. Ground off the excess bolt because it was starting to bend over because it was too long. And after I got all the excess off, the rivet went fine. So that's kind of where we're at right now. We're going to talk about some stuff I didn't film. But you might notice that the tongs look quite a bit different. But right now I'm just working these jaws, and I'm going to go ahead and bring them up to a red heat and dunk them in that oil over there. And I think they're going to be about done. I do have to trim this extra length off right here, but it is no big deal. So let me go ahead and heat these up to a red heat. I'm going to dunk them in this oil. I'm not going to film that. I'm going to trim that excess off, and I'm going to come back and talk about what we did. Alright, here we go. Everything's out of the oil, cooled down. The hinge is working nice and smooth. I'm going to kind of give you an idea how I forged these. Just imagine, if you will, that this is a tomahawk eye. So these are going to reach down in there and grab that tomahawk eye. And it's going to allow me to do the forging at a more comfortable angle. What I had been using to achieve that is these old busted channel locks. They're not even channel locks, they're Sears brand slip jaw pliers, slip lock pliers. But I mean, they worked. I made a bunch of tomahawks with them, but the problem with these was the dragon breath. I'd have to use 2 sets of tongs to get the work out because the handle was so short. And yeah, it worked, but it kind of made it awkward when you're doing the forge weld. A few seconds lost of, I don't know, I mean, we'll see. Hopefully these will make my forge welding more efficient, and not having to use 2 sets of tongs to get the work in and out of the forge. We'll see how that goes, but give you some close-ups here. Got the nibs are kind of radiused, so this is rounded, and then this is concaved. So concave for the outside, rounded for the inside, so it's going to hold that nice and secure. As much surface contact as I could get. So I'm happy with the way it feels like it's holding stuff. The recurve here seems like it's giving me a little bit more leverage, a little bit more squeeze for a tighter grip. So I'm also pleased with that. So we're going to knock this project off right here, and we'll give you some close-ups, and we'll see you on the next one. Remember, like, share, subscribe. Thank you.